Did you know there was an attempt to backdoor the Linux kernel in 2003? It concerns this piece of code, and it cleverly uses the fact that the equality operator is very similar to the assignment operator in most languages. This code actually first checks if options has wclone and wall enabled, and then we should check that current UID equals 0. But this code assigns the value 0 and never actually checks the original value of current UID. And if this if statement is actually executed, then the user will have root permissions. I do have to say, however, that I still find it very confusing that we use one equal sign for assignment and two equal signs for equality. Although in mathematics, we always use just one equal sign for equality, and that way backdates programming. That is why I in my videos mostly use colon equals to denote assignment and one equal to denote equality. I actually got a question about this in the comments in one of my earlier videos about what does this colon equals actually mean, and this is a video where I'll explain all there is to know about this colon equal operator. So let's get started. For those of you that have seen a few previous videos, know that I like to decompose words that are composed of multiple words. But if you're new, welcome to the CS library. We have in this case assignment operator. So let's first define assignment without any programming symbols, just an analogy. Let's say I have the number 42 and a box labeled with an X. I can put the 42 in the box, then close the box so that I just only see the X, and then I can put this box through a machine, which is maybe like in this case the square machine, X squared, and then that machine doesn't need to know that actually 42 is in there. We abstracted that thing, so we can actually write code that does something generally for any number. Then, if it went through the machine, we can open the box again and see that 42 squared is 1764. So, that is all what assignment is really. You assign stuff to, in our case, letters, then you can do some general thing with it and then unpack it again. Just so that we are on the same page. Now, operator is a little bit more interesting. Here we have a little bit more text, and it says the assignment as a whole returns a value. Well, that isn't very clear from the start, so let's first introduce what is actually the opposite of an operator. Opposite of an operator is actually an statement. So we also have an assignment statement, and that says it cannot be used in an expression. Come on, we are coders. Let's just add some code examples to it, and then it will make way much more sense. I have two code examples. One of them, the top one, uses assignment statements. X equals 42. In this case, equals is the assignment statement, and then print X, and that returns then 42. If assignment was an operator, then we could do something like the second one, the one below that. Print X equals 42. This means that X equals 42 in and of itself returns, in this case, 42. So I can say print X equals 42, and then 42 is returned in the same line of code. That would return an error if assignment was actually implemented as a statement. So why do we want it to be an operator? Well, I just give you two examples here why an operator can be handy instead of a statement. You could use it to control a loop. In this case, we have a while loop that says ch for get chars, and we have a check if it isn't end of file. This now assigns the new value of get chars, which could like get the next character from the CLI or something, until we are end of file, and then it automatically stops. So we don't have any if statements in the while loop. So this is actually to control a loop, a way to do it with an assignment operator. although some people don't like this in terms of code standard styles and stuff. But another thing that you could do is chained assignment. You may have known or may know that a lot of programming languages implement this, like x equals y equals a, and then x, y, and a all have the same value. This is actually already implemented if assignment is an operator without any extra things in the compiler, because if you go from right to left, y equals a as an operator automatically returns a. So then x equals y equals a becomes y equals a evaluated to a, x equals a, and then x gets the value of a. So that is something you get for free if it is an assignment operator. Some languages that do it as a statement also implement this, but there is probably something in the compiler that actually handles this behavior. Now in terms of symbols, the real nitty-gritty details of this video, you have x equals y as an assignment, and you have x colon equals y as an assignment. If you do a little bit of a history lesson, you can see that Superplan, a very old language, it wasn't actually very popular, I think. I wasn't around in 1949. I looked up a few examples and it was actually a Dutch or a German language. And you actually have Für, like F-U with 2 dots on it, and R, and like Schloss for like closing the language. Actually very interesting, but they actually were the original language that say, okay, let's do assignment with the equal sign. Very bad idea, like I showed you in the intro of this video. Then you have languages like Algol from 1958 that say, no, we need to do colon equals to have really something different than equals, but still something that is very similar to it. And I think colon equals is way better to differentiate than something like equal and then double equal or something like that. But maybe you don't know these languages. I for certainly was not around for any of these languages, but maybe these ones are interesting because these operators were actually popularized by other languages. These first two were just the original adapters. If you look at the equal sign, then Fortran and C are actually the main adapters that popularized this equal sign notation. And if you look at other languages with the colon equals, you actually have Pascal that implemented this and popularized this as like the second majorly used notation for assignment. Now, one quick fun fact that I want to leave you with here is Python. Python actually implements both of them. Python has the equal sign, and that is an assignment statement in Python. So you can't do this print x equals 42. But as of Python 3 point something, I want to say 5 or 6, they have something they call the walrus operator. But actually it's just the assignment operator that we just described, but they call it the walrus operator because if you rotate that sign colon equals by 90 degrees, it looks like a walrus with 2 eyes and 2 teeth. Make of that what you want, but then you can do stuff like print x colon equals 42, and then colon equals 42 returns to 42, so you can do both of them in Python. So that is very interesting, I think. Then, if you want to screenshot this, this is literally the summary of the entire video, assignment and an operator, and then assignment versus equality. But this is just my short video in which I wanted to explain the differences between these things and why I want to use colon equals instead of equals. So, thank you for watching.